to Image Deco, your cozy destination for all things home design and interior inspiration. Today, we're inviting you into a warm and inviting world where rustic elegance meets tiny house living. Imagine a courtyard that feels like stepping into a vintage dream, complete with lush greenery and a charming wraparound porch that hugs your home in the most heartwarming embrace. In this video, we'll explore how you can create a rustic courtyard oasis with timeless character, layered textures, and nature-inspired serenity, even in the smallest of spaces. From repurposed wood and antique garden finds to vines and florals that bloom with charm, we're showing you how to turn any tiny courtyard into your dream escape. Whether you're redesigning your outdoor space or just dreaming for now, stick with us for inspiration that feels both nostalgic and fresh. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Image Deco for more enchanting home design ideas just like this one. The heart of any rustic courtyard begins with its layout. For tiny houses, smart design is everything. Envision a courtyard that wraps around a house or is embraced by it, forming an outdoor sanctuary that naturally extends your indoor living space. Use fencing or trellised walls to create cozy boundaries, while keeping the center open for relaxation, gatherings, or gardening. Gravel or flagstone paths guide the flow, while corners are softened with clusters of potted plants or vintage furniture. Even in limited space, you can carve out zones for dining, lounging, and planting with clever furniture placement and layering. Think of the courtyard as an outdoor room. Walls made of ivy and blooms, floors of stone, and ceilings of open sky or string lights. By anchoring the design with a central pathway or focal point, such as a small fountain or vintage bench, you give the courtyard purpose while preserving the rustic soul of the home. The wraparound porch is a signature feature that adds both charm and function to a tiny rustic house. It's more than a path around the house. It's a cozy corridor where you can relax, entertain, or simply admire your garden. Choose materials like reclaimed wood for the flooring and support beams to bring an aged, textured look that complements the rustic aesthetic. Add vintage details like wrought iron railing, antique-style lanterns, and mismatched outdoor chairs with patina. Plants and hanging baskets or climbing vines along the porch posts can blend the house seamlessly with the courtyard greenery. Use the porch corners for a rocker or a small reading nook, complete with pillows and muted earth tones. As a transition between indoor and outdoor spaces, this wraparound porch becomes a place of quiet retreat and visual continuity. With thoughtful styling, your porch can feel like a vintage veranda pulled straight from Storybook. What truly brings rustic charm alive in your courtyard is the infusion of vintage greenery. Picture terracotta pots filled with fragrant herbs, galvanized metal planters overflowing with cascading ivy, and wooden crates repurposed as floral beds. The aim is not perfection, but personality. Plants that grow slightly wild, containers with patina, and groupings that feel collected over time. Incorporate hanging baskets with trailing vines, plant stands in ornate ironwork, and trellises adorned with flowering climbers like jasmine or clematis. Add touches of whimsy with antique watering cans used as decor or repurposed garden tools leaning casually against a wall. Layering plant heights, textures, and tones makes even a small courtyard feel lush and vibrant. Let the greenery soften edges, fill gaps, and bring a sense of old-world charm to every corner. Vintage greenery not only adds life, it breathes history and memory into your space, making it uniquely yours. Rustic design celebrates materials that age with grace, whether it weathers, metals that rust, and stones that gather moss. In your courtyard, let these elements shine. Use reclaimed wood for planters, benches, or accent walls. Add touches of aged copper or iron through lighting fixtures and decorative garden stakes. Stone is essential, whether it's a walkway made from a regular flagstone or a stacked stone border framing your garden beds. These textures ground the space, making it feel solid, rooted, and timeless. Layering natural materials not only enhances the visual warmth of the courtyard, but also makes it more tactile and sensory. Each worn surface tells a story, and together, they create an environment where past and present blend beautifully. You don't need to overdo it. A few well-placed, aged items can evoke a lived-in charm that makes your courtyard feel instantly nostalgic and enduring. Every dreamy courtyard deserves a water feature, no matter how small. It might be a vintage-style fountain nestled against a vine-covered wall or a repurposed stone basin with trickling water that adds both sound and serenity to your outdoor space. Water features act as focal points and attract birds, adding life and movement to your rustic retreat. Choose aged stone or weathered metal finishes that look like they belong in an old English garden. If space is tight, consider a wall-mounted spout or tabletop water element surrounded by lush potted plants. Even the gentlest bubbling sound can transform the courtyard's atmosphere into something magical. Pair the feature with natural elements, pebbles, moss, driftwood, to deepen its organic feel. In the quiet of the evening or the hush of a morning sunrise, the sound of flowing water brings peace, creating a sensory escape that feels worlds away from the bustle beyond the fence. Lighting is key to crafting a courtyard that feels enchanting from sunrise to starry night. By day, natural light will dance across weathered surfaces, highlighting every texture and leaf. But it's after dusk that magic truly happens. String fairy lights between porch posts, hang lanterns from old hooks, and use solar-powered lamps to illuminate pathways. Vintage-style bulbs in warm tones cast a golden glow over wooden planks and garden blooms. Install sconces along the porch walls to create an inviting ambience. You can also place candles in mason jars or antique lanterns for soft, flickering charm. The right lighting turns your courtyard into a storybook scene, perfect for evening tea or late-night conversations. Think of light as another layer of rustic decor, soft, warm, and perfectly imperfect. It's the detail that pulls everything together, making your space feel lived in and loved around the clock. furniture and decor are the finishing touches that make your rustic courtyard truly feel like home. Embrace pieces with history, weathered benches, wrought iron bistro sets, or vintage trunks repurposed as tables. Layer the seating with handmade cushions, cozy throws, and textiles in faded florals or neutral plaids. Add small shelves to display potted herbs, old ceramic jars, or vintage lanterns. Use salvaged items creatively, like an old ladder as a plant stand or a crate as an open shelf. These pieces bring not just functionality, but soul. Keep decor organic and uncluttered, with every element thoughtfully placed and beautifully aged. Mix and match textures to reflect a life well lived. Linen, jute, reclaimed wood, rusted metal. Let the decor feel spontaneous, not staged. In this space, imperfection is part of the charm. Together, your furniture and decor should tell a story, one of comfort, creativity, and rustic romance. Pulling together your dreamy rustic courtyard is about harmony and flow. It's not about having a perfectly matching set of furniture or a uniform garden. It's about creating a space where every element feels like it belongs. From the porch to the pathway, the garden beds to the water feature, let each detail connect naturally to the next. Choose a consistent palette of natural tones, wood browns, stone grays, leafy greens, and flower-inspired hues to maintain cohesion. Repeat textures, such as rough-hewn wood and aged metal, across different areas. Think of the courtyard as a living canvas that evolves over time, reflecting your style and rhythm. Revisit the space seasonally to add, shift, or let it breathe. When everything flows, your courtyard becomes more than a design. It becomes an experience. It's where tiny house living feels big in heart, wrapped in the comfort of nature and rustic elegance. Thank you for joining us on this cozy design journey into a dreamy, rustic, tiny house courtyard. We hope you've been inspired to infuse your outdoor space with vintage charm, wraparound comfort and timeless greenery. Remember, even the tiniest spaces can be transformed into havens of beauty and peace when you layer them with love, texture, and a touch of history. Whether you're building, renovating, or just imagining for the future, we encourage you to embrace the rustic magic that turns small corners into soulful sanctuaries. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, drop us a comment with your favorite design detail, and subscribe to Image Deco for more heartwarming home inspiration. Your dream rustic courtyard is closer than you think. Sometimes, it's just a planter, a porch beam, and a patch of sunshine away.